back into the swing of things for sure. By the way, if this is the first piece of content that you've watched of me, I've already put 4 or 5 pieces of pre-season content out. So after watching this stream, or if you don't want to watch this stream, you want to go watch something else, there are already plenty of videos for the new FPL season. We looked at Haaland, we've done an Inside the Mind episode with FPL Mate, did a little collaboration there, my top 10 tips. So there are plenty of videos to keep you occupied if you are interested in that sort of stuff there. But like I said, today's focus is going to be on building a draft. Again, it's predicted prices, so it might not be the draft that we end up with. There's a lot of information still to take in, but it just whets our appetite a little bit. And I think a few of us have been missing FPL for sure. Rafinha to Chelsea. I did see that Chelsea have actually picked up their interest in Rafinha. I think if I was Rafinha, I think I'd probably want to go to Arsenal, maybe, just due to slightly more game time. Although he doesn't have that much competition, I suppose. He's got Mason Mount on the right, but I suppose they could switch formation. I did see someone, I can't remember who it was, someone said that Rafinha would actually be playing wing back if he signed for Chelsea. I think that might have been an opinion rather than a fact, but that would definitely be interesting. We saw him play that position for Leeds a couple of times last season. Northern Ireland, good to see you. I'm not Northern Ireland, but I'm off to Ireland at the end of July for that FPL meetup. Let me actually, let me find that for you guys. I'll give it a little plug because I've literally just booked my tickets. Where is he? FPL Viking. I've literally just booked my tickets to go to an FPL meetup in Ireland. Let me find the thing and let's switch over there now. Sorry, guys. We will get, by the way, we will get into building this draft. It's not just going to be me chatting utter crap. We are going to get into it, but just wanted to show you this because I'd love to try and meet as many of you as possible, especially if you're from Ireland. Let me know in the chat now, or even Northern Ireland, I suppose. It's relatively easy for you to get over. What button do I want to press? That one. I'm telling you, I'm extremely rusty with the old streaming. See, why am I over there? Let's move me there. Perfect. So this is the tweet from FPL Viking, Paddy. Most of you probably know Paddy from Twitter. So himself, FPL Fairy, and a lot of you will obviously know FPL General as well. One of the most followed men, both with respect to his podcast, the writing that he does for The Athletic, and also for, obviously, his Twitter account as well. And a lot of you will be Patreon members. The three of them have basically made an FPL meetup in Ireland. So it's from the 29th, so on the Friday the 29th of July to Sunday the 31st. There's going to be like music, going swimming in the sea. I think there's going to be like a foot golf. There's going to be a hike. So there's lots of stuff over there. I've booked my tickets, booked the hotel, so I'm going to be heading over there. So I guess hopefully see a few of you over there at some point. If you do want to check it out, just go on to FPL Vikings Twitter. Right, you can have a look at his Twitter there. Go over to it, and yeah, if you're going to go, let us know over on Twitter. That'd be cool, if any of you can make it. Can anyone make it? Let me know in the chat if this is something that you think you might be able to get to. It's a lot. I've ended up spending quite a bit of money to get there, but I think it's definitely worth it, because I just love these meetups. It's so good to meet different people, and I've wanted to go to Ireland for a while now, so there we go. Look at I love it. There's always so many people from Cape Town. I've just glanced down at the chat. There's five people from Cape Town. We have 3 members from Cape Town as well. Of the Rap Tier members, we have 3 of them from South Africa, which is super cool. How come Ireland? It's just the one that they've organised. They're all from Ireland themselves. So I don't know. It'll be good fun, I think. Right. You're not here to talk about Ireland though, lads, are we? We're here to talk about building a draft. So the 2 websites that I'm going to use, let me type them both in the bit of a trek from Portsmouth. Yeah, I'm in Nottingham, so it's not much easier for me. I'm flying to Ireland and then I'm getting the bus over. It's a bit of a trek, but I think it's something that's definitely worth doing for sure. Right, so these are the 2 sites that I'm using. It's fpl.team and then livefpl.net. I've just typed them both in the chat. If you want to tinker alongside me, feel free. In a minute, I'm actually going to go over to Twitter and I'm going to ask for your guys' drafts on Twitter. So feel free to build a draft alongside me. The one I'm currently using at the moment is fpl.team, right? So if you're interested in the one that is currently being used, it's fpl.team. And then if I just switch over, this is the one that you can get from Live FPL, right? So you can use either of them. I just slightly prefer the layout of fpl.team, but we'll probably be using both. And both of these sites have basically put together their price predictions. So they are slightly different, the 2 sites, and it is literally just one person. It's Peter and Ragabolly. They've literally just predicted the prices. So don't shoot the messenger. I'm just going to pick based on that, but we can discuss if we do think that any of these prices are incorrect. I have 8 drafts already. Bloody hell! So I should know I haven't created any drafts at this stage. The reason for that is I wanted to do it live with you guys. So I haven't tried. I haven't looked at any of these predicted prices. It could be an absolute mess. But we're just going to go through some players. Let me know in the chat if there are any players that you think are must-haves in these drafts. Obviously, the likes of Salah will be very, very popular. Do we downgrade to Diaz? We'll get onto that. But if there are any players that you're excited to potentially pick in your teams, do let me know in the chat. Raptor is from Nottingham, so am I. Good to see. There are quite a few people in Nottingham, actually, from FPL, from the FPL community. Right, let's do this. So let's start with the keepers. I'm just going to basically have a look each time, and I'm just going to order it by price. Value, there we go. No, not value, what I want. Cost, there we go. Right, so hopefully you can see along the right-hand side, these are essentially the keepers listed from the most expensive to the cheapest. And we can basically discuss any early ideas of which keepers might be really good value. So obviously a lot of us will want to be choosing a £4.5 million keeper, right? And I am normally one of those people. I do think that there might be actually quite a few good £5 million options this season. But I always just early on, 0.5 million makes such, if you're new to FPL, makes such a huge difference early on because obviously your team value is lower than it is at the end of the season. I mean, by the end of the season, some of us had like 109 million team value. So 0.5 makes quite a big difference. And whilst you try and get a gauge of which keeper is going to be the ones to own, it's sometimes nice to start with a £4.5 million keeper. So is there any that you guys are eyeing up straight away? Any keepers that you're straying up? Obviously, we'll have the expensive ones. Alisson, Edison, Mendy. Lloris here at 5.5 million is the predicted price. Let me just make sure you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. Cool. So we've got Lloris, Sarr, Sanchez. So interestingly, Peter's actually put Sanchez as a £5 million keeper. I think he could still be 4.5, but again, it wouldn't surprise me if he was 5 million. Bradley said Sanchez. So Bradley, would you still say Sanchez if he was 5 million, or are you going on the basis that you think he'll be 4.5? Because I've got a feeling he could. Fabianski would be good later on in the season, potentially at 5 million, but the fixtures are pretty tough. Ramsdale could be good. He was really poor last season. If you actually look at the underlying statistics for keepers, such as XG prevented, all of that sort of stuff, Ramsdale actually had a bit of a stinker. But Arsenal are strengthening in the transfer market, so that could be interesting. I think De Gea at some points, if he does stay and we don't sign another keeper, De Gea could be good value at 5 million. I really do think so. And that's not a biased Manchester United fan, by the way. I just genuinely do think he could be decent value. Who else we've got? Martinez could be a decent option. I've just seen someone shout for Martinez as well at 5 mil. Mark says, ignore me, Ross. I'm just here to spy on your team. This definitely won't be my final team. I can tell you that for free. Let's scroll down to the 4.5. Pope, by the way. It's almost definite that Pope won't be 4.5. I think Pope will actually probably be 5. If he was 4.5, though, Pope would be an excellent value. Even at 5, he could be decent value. Yeah, again, Peter's got Melier at 5 million, the Leeds keeper. Again, someone that, if he is priced at 4.5 million, could be fantastic value. I think the one that most of us are eyeing up just due to the fixtures is Raya. So if I just put him in, at the moment, obviously the first two aren't great, but then they've got Fulham, Everton, Palace, Leeds, Southampton. Arsenal's not a great fixture, but Bournemouth, Newcastle, Brighton. If you take sort of those first 10 fixtures and as an entirety for Brentford, they're very, very nice fixtures. Brentford did actually have very decent underlying data from a defensive perspective last season. I think at 4.5, I do think one of the standout options will be Raya. I think outside of that, though, I don't know what price Peter's going to have him down at. I've got a feeling, yeah, so he's got Henderson down at 5, but I think Henderson, once he gets the move, they'll bring him down to 4.5. Obviously, at the moment, Henderson's still playing for Manchester United here because he hasn't officially moved. So I think Henderson, if he's at 4.5, would be the other one to potentially get in there. But I'd say maybe for now, are we okay with me going for Raya at 4.5? Just going for the cheap keeper? Rafinha to Chelsea is official, is it? Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. Okay. Interesting. Here we go. Sorry, you said this to me like 10 minutes ago. I thought you were just talking about the rumours, but David Ornstein's pretty good for this sort of stuff. It's not done yet. So maybe he'll still go to Arsenal. It looks like a price issue more so than Rafinha picking Chelsea. That could be an interesting transfer. Rafinha at Chelsea. I just think he's going to be rotated a little bit, isn't he? It's not even been 2 months and I'm already feeling nostalgic coming back here. Feels good, right? It does feel good. Like I said, I'm feeling a little bit rusty with the stream, so apologies if it's a little bit all over the place, but it's my first stream back, so hey ho. What do we think about Rafinha? And what price? So Rafinha's probably going to get this move before the game goes live. So Rafinha at Chelsea. What price do you give Rafinha at Chelsea? What price would you be putting on Rafinha? What price would you consider him at as well? Let me know in the chat what price you would consider Rafinha at in your teams. And also what you think FPL will price him at. I reckon 4.5 million. I thought I was reading off that. 7.5 million. I think at 8, he's still a consideration. I think at 8.5, he starts to get far too much. And I think if you price him at 6.5 or below, it's just going to be a real discrepancy between the other wingers at top clubs. So it's got to be 7.5 to 8, I think. Yeah, that's what the chat's saying. 7.58, 7.58. It'll be in that bracket of 7.5 to 8. 8.5 feels a bit too much. Very interesting though. Very interesting indeed. Right, let's get back to the team. So what did we say? I want to go with Raya for now. Don't worry about the captaincy. We'll switch the captaincy. Someone just said, are there any £4 million keepers that will be getting playing time? You guys tell me. Some of your knowledge is better than mine. Are there any £4 million keepers that might get any playing time? We've got Begovic, Ward, Steele, Olsen, Okonkwo, Sinisalo, Cox, McGill. Anyone that supports any of the promoted teams? Are any of these keepers going to get a shout? I don't think so, but I heard Southampton signed a new keeper. They did from Manchester City, I believe. Doesn't look like it, right? So we'll just put anyone in then. We'll just put Steele in for the memories because we had him a few times last season. Hopefully we get a £4 million keeper that pops up, but it doesn't look like it, as Alan's just said there. We don't know who the £4 million keepers are yet. Yeah, that's true. Basically, it'll be the keepers that are probably second or third choice, and then you hope that one of their teams sells. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying this first stream back, do drop a like on the video. I won't keep going on, but just spreads us out to more people. A lot of the FPL YouTubers at the moment, we're fighting the algorithm on YouTube because we haven't uploaded for a few weeks. The YouTube algorithm hates us. Right, so that's keepers done. Defenders. Let's scroll all the way up to the top to go to the most expensive. What price do we think Trent Alexander-Arnold's coming in at? I'll put it in here. We're going to run a few polls in the chat, by the way. I'm just going to chuck a poll in the chat because I'm very interested what you guys think of this. I think 8. I do think 8. I still think that's too cheap. I can't see them going. They might go above that. He should be above that. The amount of points he scores, his attacking potential, the potential for clean sheets as well. Are you going for a 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2? I'll probably actually go for a 4-4-2, to be honest. Let's change it. There you go, 4-4-2. I think 4-4-2 is probably going to be the optimal formation, if I'm being honest. I think those defenders at like 6 million could be really fantastic value. What are we saying at the moment? So 51% are saying 8 million. Do vote on the poll if you're watching this live, by the way. Yeah, 51% saying 8 million, 42% 8.5. So not 5% think 7.5 and 3% think 9. So we're basically saying it's going to be between 8 million and 8.5 million. I think that's fair enough. I think, so Frosty just said, I think Trent's going to be too expensive this year. We'll probably look at Robertson instead. Yeah, I think if there's £1 million or more between them, so if Trent's at 8.5 and Robertson's at 7.5, I think so. But if there's only 0.5 between them, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I personally... I don't know. I just think that Trent is £0.5 million better. Is he £1 million better early on? Maybe not. Yeah, so it's looking like everyone thinks the price will be 8 to 8.5. Should we put him in the team, or do you think we should go for Robertson? Hey, Yash, good to see you, my man. Why was Robertson not playing some of the games at the start of last season? He was injured. He picked up an injury. That's why Simicast played. Virgil or Matip? Yeah, what price has he predicted that Matip will come in at? He's got him in at 5.5. I think Matip will be 6 million, personally. Matip could even be 6.5 million, to be honest. And you've also got the issue of rotation with Konate. So what do we think? Let me run that price. Let me run that poll. Actually, just comment in the chat. Van Dijk at 6.5, Robertson at 7.5, or Trent at 8. Right, these 3 players here, who would you pick? If these are the 3 prices, Trent at 8, Robertson at 7.5, Van Dijk at 6.5, who do you think I should be putting in the team? I'll let you build this team with me as well. Just say Trent or Robertson. I'll just pick whoever's been commented the most. If Trent is 8 million, Robertson's 7.5, Van Dijk's all the way down at 6.5, who would you be going for? Right, that's pretty split, but it looks like Trent at the moment. Right, so let's chuck Trent in. Fulham away, by the way, on the first egg at Craven Cottage. Obviously, Craven Cottage isn't the easiest place to go to. That's still a pretty nice fixture, though, isn't it? Right, Trent in. So at the moment, Peter's the guy that created the website, by the way. Big shout out, massive respect. He's also brought an app out as well. He's not officially announced it, but if you go into the App Store, you can actually download the app already. No, Trent Ross, don't be boring. I don't know if it's boring, Yash, or is it just it's sensible? It's a sensible pick, I think, early on. Would you be bringing in Cancelo at 7.5? Is Cancelo too much at 7.5? Would you prefer Laporte at potentially 6 million? 1.5 million, I genuinely would consider going with Laporte ahead of Cancelo early on. You think Cancelo could be 8 million, John? Wow. Yeah, that'd be quite expensive, wouldn't it? Trent, Salah, Haaland, and your budget's gone. Yeah, we probably won't be able to go with... We'll have a look. I'm tempted to maybe try and swerve one of those 3 early on. Yeah, Cucurella could be a good pick. We just don't know if he's going to start straight away. Diaz over Laporte. Yeah, he could go Diaz over Laporte. It's just Laporte has really good attacking data, doesn't he? No chance Laporte is just 6 million. I could see 6.5. Good to see Elijah, by the way. Yeah, I think Laporte could be 6.5, but... Do we avoid City defence? Their fixtures are a little bit too good to avoid. I think you've got to go probably for a City defender. When you look at that, it's just which City defender. I'll put Laporte in for now, just because we're not going to be able to get all of these players in. If we start going for Cancelo, Trent, Haaland, Salah, it's going to get ridiculous. Pass on the City defence, go double Chelsea. Yeah, that could be a decent shout. I don't know if he's already got Cucurella. What am I doing? Cucurella. No, he's still got Cucurella at Brighton at 5 million. So Peter's not updated that. So we'll leave it at Laporte for now. City lost 1-0 in the first game last season. Perhaps. Right, what other defenders do you want? Here's the list here of the most expensive ones. James, Chilwell, Perisic, Matip, Matty Cash, Tierney. Is Tierney going to be fit and is he going to play well? Tomiyasu. What defenders? So I think most people will probably be going with Trent and Cancelo or Trent and Laporte, Trent and Diaz, probably, or Robertson. It will be a Liverpool defender and a City defender for obvious reasons. Perisic looks so tempting, doesn't he? Perisic could be a great option. Chilwell seems popular. Let's chuck Chilwell in it. So he's got Chilwell at 6 million at the moment and James at 6.5 million. If there is a £0.5 million difference, I'd go with Chilwell. To be honest, I think Chilwell could be the better one anyway. Chilwell, he looked so good. He only played like 8 games last season, but when he did play, he looked absolutely fantastic. Conte will rotate the crap out of his wing-backs with 5 subs, though. Yeah, that is the risk. Show the fixtures. Yeah, sorry. So these are the Chelsea fixtures. Everton, Spurs, Leeds, Leicester, Southampton, West Ham as the first 6. So they're not the best fixtures. If you did watch my fixtures video, I said Chelsea was sort of mid-table for the fixtures. And then Spurs are pretty similar, to be honest. I'd say Spurs and Chelsea have a similar difficulty of fixtures. Southampton, Chelsea, Wolves, Forest, West Ham, Fulham. I think ideally I'd like both of them, to be honest. If Rafinha is left wing, how much will that impact James? Yeah, maybe a little bit. Should we do it? Should we try and get both in? Let's try and get both in and we'll see how it goes. That's a back 4, by the way. If you chuck Cancelo in there, it gets even better. But Raya, Trent, Laporte, Chilwell, Perisic. Are we happy with that as a back 4? That is quite big at the back, isn't it? That is very big at the back, to be honest. I don't think we'll be able to afford that. We'll probably have to switch out one of Laporte, Chilwell, or Perisic for like a Connor Cody or something like that. Are there any cheap... Trippier? Yeah, Trippier could be a great shout, actually, couldn't he? Trippier, he's predicted at 5. I think he will come in at 5. Trippier could we could bring in Trippier as an example for Laporte. If we look at Newcastle's fixtures, is my mic loud enough, by the way, guys? I keep moving away from my mic. Let me turn it that way a little bit. Forest and Brighton as the first two are really nice. Then Man City, Wolves, Liverpool's not great, but then they really pick up again. Trippier could be decent. Spencer. Who's Spencer? Is that Jed Spence? Or is there actually someone called Spencer? Why has no one come up there? Am I spelling it wrong? Maybe. Oh, I haven't got the newly promoted teams in, I don't think. Probably. Is that what it is? Oh, no, they have. I don't know. I don't know why I'm spelling it. Let me go to... Oh, it's because he hasn't officially signed, has he? That's why. What a muppet. What a muppet. Matty Target, yeah. I think the Villa defenders could be decent. What are their fixtures like? It was sort of like middle of the range, wasn't it, for Villa? Yeah, Spence is technically at Middlesbrough. Yeah, it took me a while. Don't worry. Thanks. Decent fixtures, actually, for Villa. Bournemouth, Everton, Palace, West Ham is the first four. Could go for Matty Cash, yeah. He's 5.5 million as a prediction, though. It seems a bit much. Seems a bit much, doesn't it? Targets at Newcastle, yeah, apologies. I told you, a bit rusty. Right, let's leave it there for now. I do think I would rather go for Trippier than Target. Even if he's 0, I think they'll be the same price, but I would still rather, even if he's 0.5 more, I'd still rather go for Trippier than Target. Dyer or Davies at 4.5 are on my shortlist. Yeah, that could be a good way to avoid Perisic at the start and go for a £4.5 million defender. Trent, Chilwell, Trippier is my back three. So you're going without a Man City defender. 8 Nuri, fifth defender now. Marcel is gone. Yeah, he's actually got, I just checked, he's actually got 8 Nuri down as a £5 million defender. But those fixtures for Wolves could still be worth it at 5. Let's chuck Cody in. Let's do that. Is it that one? No, that one. No, that one. Yeah. Let's chuck Cody in as our fifth defender. We might end up wanting a £4 million defender instead, but I just think the fixtures are really nice and you know Cody's going to play. At 4.5 million, I think he could be an absolutely fantastic shout in there, Connor Cody. Chinkino, he will be the same price as Cody. Is he going to play every game? Oh, he's not going to be in there, is he? He's going to be in there. Oh, he's been sold, hasn't he? I'm being a muppet. Yeah, it could be a decent shout. Let's go for Cody for now, I think. Let's go for Cody for now. Right, midfielders. Let's do this debate. Right, what price has he got Diaz at? He's got Diaz at 9.5. And what price has he got Salah at? Right, let's do a poll. Sorry if that's really loud. I don't know how loud that comes through on the mic when I'm slamming the keyboard. So, if there's a £3 million plus difference between them, who are you picking? I've just put a poll in there for Diaz and Salah. Let me know. Answer that poll. If Diaz is £3 million plus or less, £3 million plus less than Salah, who would you pick? Do you think it's worth downgrading to Diaz if you're saving 3 million or more? Or are you still going Salah? Let me know and I'll put in whoever you guys vote for, I'll put in. Is Salah being moved to a forward? I think it's unlikely, but yeah, there's a chance I guess Salah's as a forward. I still think it's a similar debate. Obviously, it does make it a slightly different conversation, but I still think it's fair enough. The answer to your question depends on how much is Haaland affecting Man City. That's true. Right, everyone's going Salah. Cool. Nice and easy. Let's get Salah in there. Salah and Trent is a bit boring, but I'll be honest. You can clip this and have a look later on. I would be very surprised if I don't go with Trent and Salah in my Game Week 1 team. I'm not trying to be boring. It's not because I'm a risk-averse manager. I've spoken like this before. I like taking risks, but they are so good. Yeah, so Frosty said Salah's form post AFCON was awful. His underlying data was pretty similar. There wasn't a massive difference between post AFCON and pre AFCON. He just stopped finishing his chances, which I guess that is form, right? His finishing wasn't great post AFCON. He didn't look like his normal self as well, right? He still had a few chances, but he didn't quite look like his normal self. So I understand that for sure. I just think that Salah and Trent's a good way to start. If early on Diaz looks good, Darwin Nunez looks good, Jota's playing a lot, whatever happens, then yeah, maybe we say, do you know what? It's worth downgrading. But it's easier to downgrade from Salah to Diaz than it is to get from Diaz up to Salah. And that's why I personally think that Salah will still be good value early on. Early Salah is a beast. Yeah, Salah does start the season on fire as well, especially against those newly promoted teams in game week 1. Salah's going to get a rest during World Cup too. Yeah, absolutely. Have you done an end-of-year suit draft? I haven't. No, Jacob. What differential picks are you thinking of, Raptor? Yeah, we'll get onto some differential picks for sure. I'll be honest, I don't start very differential in game week 1. It's not because I'm a boring. It's not boring. It's not because I'm risk averse. I don't like going too out there with it. You can really lose FPL and you can lose the will to play FPL early on by taking too many risks. So I like to have like 1 or 2 differential picks in my draft, and that's about it. Got a super chat. First super chat of the preseason. Thank you very much, my man. Rafinha to Chelsea means his price will be 8.5/9. I think that's a bit much. I think more like 8 million. We did discuss this a little bit earlier. I think 7.5 to 8 is fair. I think 8.5 to 9. I'd rather go for Mason Mount, to be honest. This is a great question from Liam. Do you think the 5 subs a game is going to make it hard to choose the 90-minute players for teams like Liverpool, City, Chelsea? Yeah, it is. Although Pep doesn't make any subs anyway, does he? So Mount or Sterling if he goes to Chelsea? The issue is with Sterling, I think Sterling would need to get the move before the game goes live for him to be at a reasonable price. I think if he's still at City, they'll price him a little bit too high. I think if he moves to Chelsea, I think they might actually reduce his price slightly. So Saka or Jesus for Arsenal fixtures? We'll get onto that. We're going to get onto that. Right. Do I pick Son? What do you think? We've got him here at 11.5 million. At 11.5 million, are you picking Son in your team? Or are you going to go elsewhere? I will note, if you're picking Son here, with the draft that we've built, with the defence we've got, with having Salah, we're not going with Haaland for sure. It's gonna be instead of Haaland. So are you going with Son or are you going to go for Kulusevski? The only issue I've got with Kulusevski is that at the moment, let me try and find the tweet. I can't remember who it was from. Tottenham are close, apparently, to signing Richarlison. If Spurs sign Richarlison, Kulusevski's going to be rotated because Kane and Son are going to play every game. They play a front 3. Kulusevski and Richarlison are going to rotate. So I don't think you can go for Kulusevski if Spurs do sign Richarlison. This is where it starts to get painful. You're absolutely right. Building a draft, you start putting players in. This is fun. Like, I can do this. I can build a fantastic draft. And then you start to realise that actually 100 million is not a lot at the start of the season. Yeah, I probably won't have Son. I didn't own Son much last season. I only owned Son for like 2 or 3 games. So am I going to do another season of not owning Son? Podence could be a tasty differential. I'm looking at someone else in a second. I'll show you. Right, so we're not going to go for a Spurs midfielder. Do we go for a Manchester City midfielder? De Bruyne, Mahrez, Foden at 8 million. I quite like Foden at 8 million. I think Foden could be a really, really good shout. Then you've got the Chelsea midfielders, though. Mason Mount. If Mason Mount's at 7.5, I think he'll be 8. But if Mason Mount is at 7.5, could be a great shout. Watch out for the Pep Roulette. Yeah, maybe we don't go for City mids apart from... Yeah, De Bruyne is the only nailed one. That is the only issue. Foden is very interesting with Sterling on the way out. Jesus has left and Sterling's left. I quite like... The other one's Grealish. Grealish looked really good towards the end of last season. Maybe Grealish is the one to own. What do you think City will line up as? Foden on the left rotated. Yeah, so I think City's strongest front 3 of Sterling and Jesus both leave. Well, Jesus has left, but if Sterling leaves as well, I think it's probably Foden, Grealish, Mahrez. And then I guess they can play someone else. Sorry, Haaland. Foden, Haaland, Grealish. Or it could be Grealish / Foden, Haaland, and then Mahrez on the right. And again, they could even rotate Haaland out. I don't know for certain that he's going to start every game. I think Foden could be a decent shout, but he is 8 million, so maybe we try and go for another player instead. I'm going to avoid City mids, and I'm going to avoid Chelsea mids for now. Grealish is a £7 million is a nice option. Yeah, I don't think he'll be 7, though. I think he'll be 7.5 or 8. I think they're going to price him slightly too high. 5-3-2, yeah, you could go for a 5-3-2, Harry. I just think 3 midfielders is a bit low. If you're going to have like 2 £4.5 million midfielders, it's not a very flexible way to start. Yeah, Bruno. How much have they got Bruno coming in at? Guimaraes. 5 million. There's no way he's 5 million. He could be a great option at 5 million if he is. Like we said, Newcastle's fixtures are decent, but they do have Man City and Liverpool in their first 5. Okay, I'm going to avoid City. I'm going to avoid Chelsea. Are you going to pick Saka, Martinelli in your teams? Let's have a look at the Arsenal mids. We know how good Arsenal's fixtures are. I don't actually have any Arsenal players yet. Really, really good fixtures for Arsenal. Are you picking Martinelli? So he's got Martinelli coming in at 6.5 million, and he's got Saka at 8 million. So if Saka's 8 million and Martinelli's 6.5 million, are you picking either of those? Or are you potentially thinking you might go for Gabriel Jesus up top? Gabriel Jesus as a striker, or are you Ødegaard at 6.5? Would you rather not just go for Martinelli? Yes, the answer to your question, Tech, is yes. I'm going to slap him in a second. I just wanted to discuss some other players first, but he's definitely on my list. Yeah, Ødegaard for safety. Martinelli. No one's saying Saka. No one's. I feel like if he is at 8, that is quite a lot of money for someone who he's a great player, excellent player, but the end product is sometimes lacking, and I don't think he's the best FPL option. If he stays on pens, though, could be a decent option. Right, I'm going to put in the player that I really want in my team, by the way. And yeah, that was why I was avoiding the comments on it. Pedro Neto, for me, is someone that I've been eyeing up for a while. He was a differential weeks ago, but then the fixture. So I've started making a video. It didn't come out, but with Neto in my team. Before we had the fixtures, before we had the prices, obviously then we got the fixtures. So I didn't put the video out. But Neto was someone I was eyeing up with. The fixtures that they've now got, I think Neto could be an excellent option. So we've got Neto at £6.5 million here. If he's at 6, he could be an even better option. I don't think they'll price him at 7. He obviously had a lot of injuries last season, so it is something to keep an eye on. But this, Harry said this team needs a wild card already. Don't say that. I really like the look of Pedro Neto. The other option we've got is Podence. He's got Podence in at 6 million, so £0.5 million cheaper. Neto's underlying data is just so much better. Neto seems like the Ben Rama style pick for this year. It'll either be hit or bust. Yeah, I agree with that. He'll either go absolutely crazy or not. If Arsenal sign Rafinha, no to Saka as he plays on the left. Yeah, it looks like Chelsea are front runners for Rafinha now. Neto will rotate with Podence and Hwang. Can be a tricky FPL option. Yeah, that's true. That's true. What about Brennan Johnson? Could be. I don't know. Has he got Johnson as a striker or a midfielder? So he's got £4.5 million forward. That's just wrong. Johnson, I think Johnson will be a £5.5 million midfielder or a £6 million midfielder. If he's a striker, he's going to be. That is Brennan Johnson, right? I don't know. He'll be probably around £5.5–6 million. If he's a forward, I think he could be as much as 6 or 6.5 million. Was hoping Johnson would be a forward, but apparently he's a mid. Okay. Greetings from Cyprus, best FPL YouTuber. Thank you very much, Pink Pony. Welcome. He's a striker. He's actually like a wide forward. He plays a similar sort of position-ish to Salah. But yeah, he did play games last season up top. he won't be a £4.5 million forward. I can guarantee that. Sorry, right. Let's finish off just a couple more midfielders then. Any other midfielders that are on your list? We've got De Bruyne, Bruno, Son, Sancho. Could put Luis Diaz in there. Could still try and go for Luis Diaz. What about Bowen? They're just so bad, their fixtures, West Ham. Look at that as a first 6. City, Spurs and Chelsea. Even Brighton and Villa aren't easy games. And Forest is a decent game in there. I don't mind Bowen. Bowen scored a brace against City last season, didn't he? So I don't mind Bowen. I just think if he is at 8 million or even at 7.5, you can probably do better at that price, I think. Yeah, Brentford mids. Right, Brentford mids are a nice shout. Let's have a look at Mbeumo, the man that loves to hit the post. Leicester, United, Fulham, Everton, Palace, Leeds. It's a nice six fixtures. If they get Eriksen back, Eriksen could be great. You've got Mbeumo. You'll have Visser as well, unless they move him to a forward, but I doubt it. Got Visser in there. Could be a decent option. Is Mbeumo a trap again? Yeah, he could be. Coutinho could be a decent option. Maddison's a great shout. 7 million. What Leicester's... I can't even... Oh, yeah, Leicester's fixtures are a bit rough, though, aren't they? That's not a great set of opening fixtures for Leicester. I think you can probably do better than that. Do you know what? I'm going to try and chuck in a cheap one. Let's go cheap. Let's go very cheap. Something like that. Let's go Bruno. And then I reckon we can get another sort of mid-priced midfielder in here. Mid-priced midfielder. St. Max, if he's moved back to a mid, would be awesome. Yeah, he could be a decent. Kulusevski for the win. I said the reason I don't like Kulusevski as an option is just I'm slightly worried about if they do sign Richarlison. They're not signing Richarlison to literally just sit on the bench. Richarlison's going to want some game time. So Kulusevski's going to rotate with Richarlison. Is he not? Maybe he's not. Maybe your opinion is that he's not going to. Erdegaard could be a decent option. His underlying data is just so bad. Trossard could be. Brighton's fixtures are good. Can I do that to myself? Lingard, if he goes to West Ham, I don't mind that. But again, West Ham's fixtures aren't easy. I don't really like any of them, to be honest with you guys. I don't really like any of these players. Sorry, we are going to move on. I just want to try and pick someone. Do you know what? Let's leave that spot. Let's move on to the forwards and we'll come back to it. Let's move on to the forwards. Right, what forwards are we looking at then? I'm eyeing up someone in particular that I really, really like the look of. You know what? I'm just going to put him straight in. There's someone that I've got my eye on. I think it's going to be fantastic value. I don't know if you're watching this, Marcus. If Marcus is watching this, let me know, because I know he's been bigging him up. Undav. I don't know if that's exactly how you pronounce his name. I'll be honest, I haven't watched a single game that he's played. I just really, really like the fixtures for Brighton. He scored, I think he's got like 41 goal involvements in 40 games. Last season in the Belgian league. Again, it is the Belgian league. Not necessarily saying that that's going to transfer over. He looks a decent option, and he was on penalties last season as well for his club. I think at 6.5 million, he could be a really, 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 really nice option. Can you send the link of the site you're on? Yes, fpl.team. There you go, I've just put it in the chat. It's very easy to remember. Just type in fpl.team into your URL. Brighton don't score enough goals. Maybe they will now, though, Richard. Maybe this is all they needed. I think Undav could be a really, really nice option in there. There are actually quite a few strikers I really like the look of. Obviously, we've got Haaland. We've got Gabby Jesus, who's on the thumbnail. At £9 million. Is that a bit much, 9 million? Would you pay £9 million for Jesus? I'm ready for the Mitrovic trap again. Yeah, I think the issue is Fulham's fixtures are just horrific, aren't they? Will they ease him in at Brighton? I guess they could ease him in at Brighton. Maybe we just go for Tony. First 3 games not great for Brighton. Yeah, maybe we give Undav 3 games. He's got Tony at 7.5. If Tony's up at 7, I'd tempt 7.5 feels like a lot, doesn't it? Jesus should be 8. I don't think Jesus will be 8. I think Jesus will be 8.5. I don't think it'll be 9. Take Kulusevski. Everyone keeps commenting Kulusevski. I've said if Spurs sign Richarlison, I don't think Kulusevski will be the pick that everyone thinks he'll be. Unless you're expecting Kulusevski to start every game and Richarlison to start every game from the bench. I think they'll rotate. Son and Kane aren't going to start on the bench, are they? So unless he starts a slightly different formation and plays Kane in behind Richarlison, I can't see it though. Callum Wilson, listen guys, you know I love me some If you watched last season, you know I love Callum Wilson. Brought him in on the final day and he got a ridiculous 13 pointer, was it? Got a brace. Welbeck could be a good differential, just depends on preseason. Yeah, Eric, he could be definitely. Welbeck's data was ridiculously good last season. Richarlison will not go to Spurs. Apparently it's close. So, do we not put Haaland in? At 12.5 million, are we thinking about Haaland? Let's put a poll. At 12.5 million pound. At 12.5 million pound, are you putting Haaland in from game week 1? He could be 12 million. Absolutely. You think it'll be 11.5? Surely not 11.5. Going to put Rafinha in my team because if he's going to Chelsea or Arsenal, if that's the case, I want him. Yeah, he could be at both clubs. He could be a brilliant option. Haaland seems like a really good option as there are too many question marks about who will play the other attacking positions at City. Yeah. 12 is the limit of what I'd spend up front. Maybe. Should we put him in instead of Wilson then? I don't think I'm going to be able to afford this, to be honest. We're going to have to go very, very cheap elsewhere. Let's go Greenwood and not Mason because we don't want to talk about him. We'll go for the Leeds Greenwood up top. Then what position's this? It's a midfielder. Is there any good £4.5 million midfielders that you think will be priced at £4.5 million, guys? What midfielders are you eyeing up for that £4.5 million slot? Gordon. I don't think Gordon will be 4. I think Gordon could be £5 million. Douglas Luiz. Yeah, could be really nice. Take Gordon. I don't think Gordon will be 4.5 again. Surely Gordon's 5 this season. KDH is pretty... Yeah, I think KDH and Gordon are going to be 5. Gordon's 6. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to be 4.5 in my opinion. Brennan Johnson. Yeah, I would take Johnson, but he's down as a forward on this, so I can't. Douglas Luiz. Yeah, I think everyone's saying Douglas Luiz. Let's go Douglas Luiz then. Where is he? Bang. That leaves us £6.5 million for a midfielder with this current setup. Right, we're gonna switch around in a second. We're not gonna stick with this, but with the current setup, 6.5. So we could go for Martinelli or Erdegaard in that spot then. Johnson will be a better option than the Leeds forwards. Gelhardt gets... Johnson's going to be about 6 million though, Frosty, I think. 5.5. He's not going to be down at the £4.5 million. Fabrizio basically confirmed Raf to Chelsea. Yeah, we saw the updates. It does look good for Chelsea. So Rafinha could be a great option, but he's going to be a lot more expensive than we've got him listed down here. Right, so we're looking at about 6.57. Trossard. Let me know from this list of options, guys. £6.5 million midfielders. Who are you thinking about? Raptor, how do you save your team on this? I keep losing mine. You see at the bottom, it says logins, create draft. You have to log in, create an account. I think you link it to like your Twitter or something like that. I haven't actually done it myself. Logins, create draft, create a draft. Once you've logged in, you can then save drafts and then click between them. Undav 433. That's true. Yeah, that's true. We could go for a... another cheap midfielder and switch to a 4-3-3. I don't mind that. Thoughts on Mount for opening 6? Yeah, I do like Mason Mount. He's just quite expensive, isn't he? Who would you captain at City if no Haaland? It's De Bruyne, isn't it? It's De Bruyne or Haaland. Maybe Foden. You can go for Foden, but you wouldn't want to captain him, would you? Defo Martinelli. Yeah, maybe we'll go Martinelli. If they don't sign Rafinha, I do think Martinelli starts the majority of games, but of course he's still going to be rotating with Smith Rowe. What are your thoughts on Gelhardt over Green? I don't actually know, to be honest. We'll go for Gelhardt if you want to. I have no idea which of the Leeds forwards will get more minutes. Rafinha deal is done to Chelsea. Is it? Oh, my voice. Jesus, my voice just broke. Oh, my camera's gone as well. That was a chaotic 10 seconds. My voice broke and my camera died. I'm still here, guys, by the way. Don't worry. This was what I saw. You're telling me that is Fabrizio said something, the tap-in merchant. He doesn't actually get any news anymore, does he? Chelsea are now going into talks with Rafinha's side and agent Deco on the personal terms. It's key step before here we go, as Arsenal and Barca are in talks with Leeds. Also, deal fully agreed between clubs with Leeds. That doesn't sound like it's done to me, does it? Am I missing something? Where's the tweet that everyone's talking about that is he is a tapping merchant, isn't he? Where's this tweet that suggests that Rafinha's done? I don't see. Check Ben Jacobs. Thank you, whoever said that. Rafinha hasn't decided his next club, but as per the excellent David Ornston, Chelsea have it. I don't see anything. No, I don't think anyone said anything, have they? FPL family retweeted, did they? It's like a bloody scavenger hunt trying to find stuff on Twitter sometimes. It's not done then, is it? Fabrizio's such a strange man, isn't he? Fabrizio's not reliable at all. Fabrizio just copies everyone else. He used to be. He tweets that Chelsea and Leeds have reached a full agreement. And then after that, he says more on Rafinha. Arsenal had a meeting with Leeds. And then he said, actually, I'm not sure. I think basically Barcelona don't care. Chelsea and Arsenal are offering similar amounts by the sounds of it. It just comes down to pretty much, I guess, what he wants. FPL Focal in the chat. Gazumped. What you gazumped about? Gazumped. That's a really cool word. I don't think I've ever said the word gazumped. Is my face back? Hello. Right, what am I doing? Let's go back. Too many buttons to think of. Right, so this is the team that we've got. What don't you like about it? What do you want to change? Nice to see you back, Ross. Good to see it. Marcus, we were trying to pick Undav, but you weren't here to recommend him. So I didn't put him in because you weren't here. Sad times. Listen, if you were here early on in the stream, then maybe. Hi, mate. Good to see you, Steve. Very Twitter template. How can it be Twitter template, Mark? It can't be Twitter template yet. There hasn't been a template. What don't you like about this team and how can we change it? The midfield's too weak. I agree. Raptor ain't got Johnny shaking my head. Do you want me to put Johnny in there? Would it make you feel better? Don't love Jesus, Gabriel, that is. Yeah. We could take out Gabby Jesus and put in a cheaper striker. Are you confident on Neto? Maybe I'm missing. I just think he's going to have a really good season if he stays fit. We all love Jesus. Bin Jesus. There's a real discrepancy between people that want Jesus and people that really don't. Please take Jesus out. Downgrade Chilwell. So we could downgrade one of the defenders. Do you know what? Let's take Jesus out because people are getting very upset about the fact Jesus is in there. Let's put Ivan Toney in there, fan favourite. That would give us a bit of money to upgrade one of the midfield spots. So Martinelli at this stage could go up to a Phil Foden, could go up to a Mason Mount, could go up to a Bowen. Any of those sort of 7.5 to £8 million strikers. This could be Tony, it could be Wilson. Like, it's anyone in and around that price. Like, if you guys prefer Wilson, then we can absolutely do that. Do you think Perisic is a starter? I do think so. Mids don't look great. Yeah, the mids don't look great, do they? But this is I think you've almost got to downgrade. Which of Laporte, Chilwell, and Perisic would you be happy getting rid of? If you had to sell one of Laporte, Chilwell, or Perisic to upgrade the midfield a little bit, which one would you do? Wilson is better than Tony. Yeah, I think I prefer Wilson as well. Yeah, they've got Nunez at 11 million. I don't think he'll be that much either. Chilwell for now. Really, Chilwell. I really like Chilwell, though. I actually think I'd do Laporte, which sounds crazy because City's defence are just so good and they've got good fixtures, City. But Perisic for Cucurella, Perisic. Yeah, maybe Perisic to like Dyer or Davis, sorry. Or what am I doing? Spell. They've got Davis at 5. What have they got Dyer at? 4.5. If Eric Dyer is still at 4.5 or 5, could be a decent option. Or maybe we do go for Trippier. That gives us £1 million to upgrade Bruno G, I guess. Could try and squeeze Diaz in. We're a little bit short on budget here, but that could be super nice to get Luis Diaz in there. Laporte to Cucurella. Yeah. Laporte to 8 Nuri. Yeah, could do that. I mean, we could downgrade the defense massively. Let's have a look at a bit more of a budget defense draft. You are not playing triple Newcastle. Yeah, I've just spotted that. Don't worry. I've spotted it. It's not easy at all. It's not easy at all to do this. Cheaper strikers, unless we bin off Haaland. It's not quite affordable, is it? That's a stronger midfield. We're still a little bit... I know, we've got the budget for that now. What about that? Yeah, no City players. Good spot. I guess you could go for De Bruyne in there. What is this website? I'm using FPL.team at the moment. I'll just type it in the chat. That's a more sort of balanced draft, I guess. Taking a little bit of money out of the defence. Son to Kulusevski. Yeah, could try and squeeze Kulusevski in there for Luis Diaz. Still recovering from Glasto. Think I need a couple more days before FPL. That's fair enough, Oscar. I don't blame you, to be fair. Just having a little bit of fun, doing a bit of tinkering. But yeah, I don't blame you at all for wanting a bit of a break. Right, I've got 1.5 million then. Unless we can squeeze. About that, double Chelsea defence. Not having Cancelo is an FPL crime. We did speak about Cancelo. Peter's got him down at 7.5 million. It just feels too expensive. We could try and squeeze Cancelo in there. No interest in Arsenal. Great early fixtures. We did have some Arsenal players in our like proper draft. I'm just sort of tinkering around, to be fair. Let me go back. Right. I'm going to try a slightly different draft here. We're going to go big at the back and see what we can do with that. Because I know people love big at the back as well. With 5 sub rule, probably don't need all 3 playing subs. Yeah, that's true. They won't really, to be honest. Cody, Douglas Luiz, and Gelhart's probably as cheap as I'd want to go. Feel like all the value is in the defenders and the premium mids. Yeah, that's what I'm going to try and do now, mate. I'm going to try and squeeze in a draft. Who are the main stats regardless of price? What do you mean? Robbo instead of Trent? We could try and squeeze Robbo in there instead of Trent, but for this one, we're going to go a little bit more expensive. Doherty. Is Doherty going to be fit? Evening, Raptor. Good evening, my man. Good to see you. Will Doherty be fit? No love for Coutinho. I don't mind Coutinho, but... Yeah, I don't mind Coutinho, but I think there are potentially better options. Mainstay, sorry, dodgy iPhone, no worries. I think most people would like a team that looks something like this, right? That's why I've just tried slapping the spine in there. But to afford that, you're going to have to go super cheap elsewhere. Like, super cheap, right? How do you feel about double up on Trent Robbo in 2 premium defense? That's very expensive, isn't it, to start? Ross, hear me out. What about CR7 in game week 1 and move to Haaland for game week 2 if it looks like Haaland is better? ETH first game, expert, yep. High tempo game. United will score 2-3. I don't mind that at all. I didn't discuss CR7, but I discussed starting with Kane instead of Haaland, which we could do quite easily. Like if you want to go for Kane in there, could be a really decent option, especially if he's cheaper. Although then you need to leave a bit of money in the bank, don't you? Think if you go Salah and Haaland, you can't go with more than 2 premium defenders. That probably sounds about right, to be honest. Grealish can be an outsider. Yeah, Grealish could be decent. I'm just seeing how sort of cheap you've got to go. Gelhart. Let's just go Gelhart and Greenwood. Let's go full on cheapo mode. Five, 4, 1. Could we go? I think you probably got to stick with whatever premiums we got and move the lesser pieces around each week. Yeah, it's probably correct, to be fair. So cheap that you have to bin Haaland. Oi, Ross, where is Gundogan? I'm not going to do that again to myself, picking bloody Gundogan to start. I don't know how cheap we're going to end up having to go. That's a very weak-looking bench, but let's just roll with it. Looks like we'll have more than one Twitter template this season. Yeah, I think everyone's team's going to look really, really different. Genuinely. £4.5 million defenders. Any £4.5 million defenders that you're eyeing up? Yeah, we spoke about Undav already. I think it's Undav. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Rico Henry, Eric Dyer. Yeah, Dyer could be a decent option. I really like Rico Henry as a shout, you know. He's down at 5 million here. Mark Gehi could be good, but he's just a bit... I don't know what I was going to say there. Oh, the fixtures aren't great, are they? Mitchell. Crystal Palace's fixtures aren't great either. Johnny Otto. I don't know if I want another Wolves defender. I've already got Cody. These are not the official prices. No, they're predictions. There you go. Someone's just said, do James and Saka and you'll be fine. There you go. What about that as a team? Is that slightly better? Is that a slightly better team? It's a very weak bench. Very, very weak bench, to be honest. And you do have to start Bruno G every week. You could do Perisic and Diaz at that price. I don't think I could. That'd be £1 million more. Diaz is 9.5. Perisic is 6. Could still put Perisic in there, though. Upgrade your bench. I don't even know how you upgrade this bench, though. I'd drop Kulusevski to get better depth. Yeah, you could do. And then you can go for a... I mean, you could... We might be able to end up upgrading Greenwood to someone like Undav in there. So the team would actually look something like that. Is that better? That's a slightly more balanced team, isn't it? I quite like that. I feel like we've ended up just back to where I was at. Isn't this roughly what I had anyway? I know it says we're 0.5 short, but these are predicted prices anyway. That's not a bad sort of balanced team. Four penalty takers there too. Have I got that? Undav, Haaland. I guess are we counting Saka maybe as a penalty taker? Could be Martinelli, couldn't it? If no Son, is it okay to captain Kulusevski instead? I'm just thinking, again, it depends. If they sign Richarlison Spurs, then I think Kulusevski will be rotated, to be honest. Can you add the new signing for Nottingham Forest, Yuri Nater? He's a young Turkish talent. Is he in the game? I don't think he's on this site yet. No, he's not, unfortunately. Sorry. Saka is not on pens. Yeah, it did look like... Well, I don't know. He took a few, but then Martinelli took one as well at the end of last season, didn't he? Cancelo to Laporte and upgrade Bruno. Yeah, could do that. £6 million. Could upgrade him to like Mbermo. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, Felix got me. Say that name again. For God's sake, Felix. The new Nottingham Forest signing, Urinator. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, Felix. I'm lucky that I said it quite slowly, to be fair. It could have been worse. No, I can't put Urinator in my team. Link to the site. It's fpl.team. fpl.team. It could have been a worse one, to be fair. Urinator is a classic. Yeah, to be fair, I've not heard that one. I've not heard it. Cody to Ben White. Yeah, Cody to Ben White could be a decent shout. I think he could be 5 million, though, Ben White, this season. What can you do with Diaz instead of Salah? It's a good question. What was I doing? £6 million. Yeah, we could end up with like Mbermo in there. That could be slightly stronger. Or Visser. I know people don't like Mbermo, so let's put Visser in there maybe instead. Are there any other 6 million? I don't think there are many other £6 million that I like the look of yet. Is Anthony Martial worth chat? I really hope at some point he is. Just don't know yet. Do you think Foden is nailed with all the City players leaving? Potentially. Foden could be really nice. Like, you could even just go for Foden instead of Saka if you wanted to, but I think you do want some Arsenal cover in there. I don't know. I think I'd rather start the season a little bit safe with someone like Saka. Rodri instead of Wissa. I don't know about Rodri. He's a CDM, and he's obviously going to rotate slightly with Phillips as well, isn't he, this season? Yeah, if Ericsson goes to Brentford, definitely could be a good option. What about Malacia? Do you think he will start over Luke Shaw? Not at the start, but I do think eventually, probably, yeah. What did I just saw? KDB, Son, Diaz as the starting block. Yeah, let's try that. This will be the last sort of variation we do, guys. This is probably going to get really boring otherwise. How are we enjoying the stream, by the way? Is there anything you'd rather me do for the next sort of 10, 15 minutes? I'm happy to do whatever. I'm going to give that a go, though, because I think that's a decent shout. So what has he said there, Frosty? KDB, Son, and Diaz. KDB, De Bruyne. Son. So you want to... Yeah, that's definitely a different draft. Let's start with that. I have PTSD from Shaw. I'll never pick him again. Yeah, a little bit. He wasn't a great pick, was he, last season? Right. Should we go for Robertson this time instead of Trent? Could be a decent option. Robbo. Let's go for maybe like Reece James instead. And then go a little bit cheaper elsewhere. I'm just chucking in random players, by the way. Could be whoever you want, really. Matty Cash. You can put Matty Cash if you want. I think at 5.5, I think I'd rather go for the likes of Perisic, Chilwell, their £6 million. Build a team around Joelinton. Unless he's playing back up top. Trippier. You can't just come in and start commenting all of your Newcastle players. Get out of here. Raya. A minute ago, you missed it. We had 3 Newcastle players in my starting 11. What £4 million defender might be worth it this year? I don't know. It's a good question. Jota, is he a centre forward or a midfielder? It'll be a striker. I think he's a midfielder at the moment in this, but I know he's a forward at the moment. Yeah, Jota could be a decent shout. I just don't know if he's going to start, is he? This is more of like a balanced draft, I guess. Let's just no. Load shedding is hitting, so I got to go. Thanks, Ross. Sorry to see you go, man. No worries at all. Thanks for tuning in. Load shedding is a nightmare, isn't it? Luckily, we don't have that over here. I'm trying to build like a Jesus. I assume you're saying Jesus rather than just shouting Jesus at me. Yeah, I could try and fit. I put Jesus in earlier, and then everyone shouted at me to get rid of Jesus. If you're enjoying the stream, by the way, guys, do please drop a like on the stream. And if you're watching this as a video, please do drop a like on the video as well. Where do you think Julian Alvarez will play in the City team? I think he'll play on the bench. He's going to play through the middle, surely, when he plays, but I don't think it'll be very often, will it? I think he's for the future, isn't he? Assuming they'll lose Mahrez soon. Obviously, they're losing Sterling. Is Frankie de Jong going to be an FPL option? No, not at all. Not at all. It'll be similar to sort of Pogba. Yeah, he might pop up with some assists and some goals, but he's not going to be a reliable FPL option, I don't think. What am I doing? I've put Neto in every draft, but I do think he'll be a decent option. So let's try and get him in again. This is going to be a very cheap bench. Are the prices out already? No, the prices aren't out. We're using a site that's like predicted prices. £4.5 million defenders. Oh, we're looking at midfielders here. Let's go for Douglas Luiz again. So we're going to be a little bit short on this one here. Right. Very short, to be honest. I'm just using Cody because I know he's £4.5 million. I know we're £1 million short, but this is a more sort of balanced draft. You've got De Bruyne, Son, Diaz, Jesus, but obviously there's no Salah. So it's always going to look better when you remove the premium. I guess you could just go for Salah in here, right? I mean, I'm £1.5 million short now. But if you go for Chilwell in there, and then go for Undav in there, you can get this down to the price, to be honest. That's a more balanced team. Salah, Son, Diaz, Jesus, Neto, Johnny, Chilwell, Robertson. There's no Trent as well, though. Thanks for taking the time, Ross, to get us all excited. Have a great night. Cheers, Chris. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm starting to get back into the mood, definitely, for sure. What's your rank goal this season, Raptor? It's a great question. Just to beat last season, I guess. But for me, not that I don't care about rank, but for me, the fun of FPL is playing, is chatting to you guys, it's creating content, it's watching games. The fun for me isn't attached to the rank. And I think that is a great attitude to take, but it's genuinely the way I see it. Obviously, getting a good rank is fantastic, but that's not why I play FPL. I don't play FPL to get a good rank. I play FPL because I enjoy the game. So for me, I guess my goal is to continue improving my content, keep making the best possible content for you guys, and yeah, just building on from there and enjoying the game. There's no City. Yeah, that's a good option. That's a good shout. Should we do a cheeky Mahrez in there then instead? There you go. Johnny looks great as... Yeah, Johnny does look great. Yeah, I think he should start. I haven't really taken a massive look into the Wolves situation. Ross, this is the first time I've managed to catch you live. Glad this is still going. Always love the content. Cheers, Graham. I appreciate that. Good that you've managed to tune in live. Rank should be secondary. I agree, Aaron. What psychological disorder produces the best FPL managers? No disorder. I don't think there is one, to be honest. I think you can have various behavioural profiles and still do well in FPL. Make a poll where you ask for Salah or not. We did make one earlier. 67, it was basically 2/3 of the poll said that even if Salah was £3 million more than Diaz, they'd still go for Salah. I like that, and I wish there was a way for us to hide our individual rank each game week. That's a really good idea, because I've seen some people, that someone messaged me last season, they played FPL for the entirety of last season, and they hid their rank all season. They managed to not look at their rank all season. They finished the season in the top 5k. So they didn't look at their rank at all. They said they really didn't look, because they actually said it was because they read my book, and I suggested not looking at your rank as much in the book. And they finished in the top 5k. So you can genuinely have an incredible finish without the stress of knowing if you've done well or not. If you don't know what your rank is, you have no idea whether you're doing well or not. And you probably make the better decisions as a result. I would maybe go Lamptey instead of Dyer, and that's perfect. He's going to be 5 million, isn't he? I've got 0.5, yeah. Lamptey could be a really exciting option. Obviously not the best game week 1 fixture, but you can always put Cody in there. I'm not sure how I feel about double Wolves defence on the first day, but... KDB and Haaland are must-haves. Yeah, I probably would want them. Oh no, we've got a bot in the chat. No, get out of here. Get out of here. Oh God, they're overtaking, guys. Why have you not had Rafinha in any of your drafts? Because he's at Leeds and he's 6.5 million on this. Oh, he's 7. I still think he'll be more than that, though. So I haven't put him in because he's in a Leeds kit and he's going to be... Oh, God, there are so many bots. Please don't click on any links that they try and... But I think I should... I think I've blocked all links from the chat, so they shouldn't be able to post any links. Who do you think is the must... Who do you think is the must between Trent and Son? I think Trent, probably. I've put Son in here just because we wanted to get him in. Can't you just ban him? They're different channels, mate. I'm banning every single one that's coming up. But they just create like 30, 40 channels. They've all got very similar names, but they're different channels. Bots love FPL too. They just love my content. It's just obviously getting them steamy, isn't it? Paul said, I'm enjoying the large semicircle on your forehead, mate. Need to paint a logo there. Do you reckon I could get like an FPL Raptor logo tattooed on my forehead? That would be very on brand, wouldn't it? Maybe I'll have that for the next live stream. With Calvin Ramsey signing, is Trent going to have a lot more rest? No, I don't think so. I think he's well and truly back up. You know, just at some points last season, we saw points where Trent needed a rest. I think that's when Calvin Ramsey will come in. I mean, maybe. You need a moderator. We do have various moderators. I just don't think any of them are in the chat at the moment. I'll make Frosty a moderator. There you go. You're now a moderator. Sterling in the first draft, regardless of destination. Yeah, if Sterling goes to Chelsea, I'd be very tempted. If he stays at City, I'm not particularly. He's at 11 million here. I don't think he'll be 11 million. Sterling at Chelsea is a serious shout. There's so much mystery as to what logos are on your caps. There you go. I don't really wear caps that way. The light's gonna. This is a Levi's hat. The one that I normally wear is North Face, I think. This is not a very good lighting setup, though, is it? Oh, God. It's wonky. And my camera's in reverse, so I pull it one way. There you go. Hopefully that solved the mystery. Where are we going to? I'm just going to draft the players that scare me the most not owning Raptor. That's sometimes a decent way to do it. If they scare you, it's probably because they're a good player, right? 500k subs and you get a head tattoo of your logo. If I hit 500k subs, I'll get some kind of tattoo of Raptor. I'm never going to hit 500k subs, but yeah. If Sterling drops to 9.5, he will be a gold option. Yeah, I think he might be 10. 9.5 absolutely would be a decent, but then do you just go for Mount? I don't know. Sterling and Bruno at 10 could be nice options. Yeah, he's got Bruno at 12 here. Bruno will be 10. Bruno could even be like 9.5 after last season, but I think they'll probably keep Bruno in the double digits. Where's the Rick Grimes murder jacket? It's too hot to wear the Rick Grimes murder jacket. I'll wear it on the Game Week 1 live stream. I can't stand myself to start the season with Sterling. Watching him play will make my blood boil. Yeah, I don't enjoy owning Sterling, to be honest. Is Havertz a no-go? Havertz could be a great shout, to be fair. What have we got Havertz down here for prices? 8.5. If Havertz at 8.5, decent. You need to have a City defender. Yeah, probably, to be fair. This draft's a bit of a mess, to be honest. This draft was just having a bit of a mess around. I think we preferred the draft. Let me go back to the sort of draft that we'd actually potentially start with. It was... Who do we have in here? It is going to be something along the lines of... I think we had Bruno... It's going to be something like that. Like, we're a little bit short here, and I don't really want to start Bruno each week. So we could even drop... It could end up being something like a Mason Mount in there, just to allow us to upgrade this spot to like a... I don't know, like an Mbermo. The team will look something like that, probably. If I had to make a team now, it's going to change a lot over the... Obviously, we can drop down Gabriel Jesus as well, which we'd need to do to get Trent in. Sorry, I just realised I didn't have Trent in there. Something like that. Ish. If we could afford Kulusevski in there, then that would be a decent option. Something like that, the team. I do think I'll end up starting with Salah and Haaland and Trent. I think they'll be my 3 premiums, and I'll go off of that and decide my team based on that. Rafinha instead of Mount then. Yeah, if Rafinha's the same price, I don't mind that. Rather than draft players, I tried to put a price matrix together to try and work out what I could afford. That sounds far too advanced for me, mate. But that sounds very, very clever. It sounds like the right idea, for sure. I might have to root for the chicken wing man at this rate if he joins Chelsea. Yeah, because you're a Chelsea fan, aren't you? What about Bowen, even though first fixture is poor? Yeah, I don't mind Bowen. I just think if he is 8 million, which we're expecting, or 7.5, I'd rather go for like a Saka, Kulusevski, Mount if they're at similar prices. Pep will probably regret selling Raheem. I agree. I agree with that. Are there any players that I just haven't discussed, guys, that you're interested in? I've just seen Mark said Jimenez could be a decent option. I don't disagree with that. I've currently got quite a few. Well, I've got 4 Wolves players already. Jimenez could be a decent option. And then you could go for, like in Burmo here rather than Neto. I don't mind that at all. Could Lingard be a good option? Yeah, I just think the fixtures for West Ham are a bit naff, aren't they? The other thing I was looking at is subtracting the minimum cost from each position to try and work out actual value, i.e. defender is yeah, that's, again, a very, very good idea. If you build any tools, by the way, and you want to send them across, let me know. And I'll show them off on some of the vids. You don't have any wing backs from Spurs. Yeah, I just don't. It's a good. I'd love them, to be honest. You could, rather than Laporte, you could go for Perisic if you wanted to in here. I just don't know how much they're going to rotate. Is Perisic even? He might be a midfielder. Perisic, we don't know. Love how we will all make 100 drafts and scrap it an hour before the deadline. I know it's going to happen. Maddison, yeah, we spoke about Maddison. The fixtures are just not great for Leicester. Tomiyasu and Christensen, I like both of those as shouts. Has he got Christensen on here? No, Christensen's not on there. Tomiyasu, it depends how much Tomiyasu comes in at. You're guessing the prices, so what's the point? It's just a bit of fun. Just a bit of fun whilst we wait for the game to go live. Bruno will be the first manager to get sacked this year, potentially. Value is 38 million. That's how much excess cash you have when you remove the base price. It's interesting. Rasmus is supposed to be a beast, but then it is Leeds, to be fair. Yeah. Matip over Trent, perhaps. Could do, DJ. I don't know if I can do that to myself, though. Who do you think will be the Bowen of this season? I'm hoping Neto. I really like Neto as a player. I think Neto could be, potentially. Martinelli, if he gets enough game time. Live FPL has Tomiyasu and Christensen as 4.5. Okay, that would be much better. Is Hwang ever a consideration? I know he was absolute bait last year and stats weren't good. Yeah, if Hwang gets a starting position ahead of Podence or Neto, then yeah, but it could quite easily be a front three of Neto, Podence and Jimenez, couldn't it? Or Podence, I should say. Bamford, great shout. Yeah, if Bamford's fit, I don't mind that at all as your sort of cheaper striker in there. What are Leeds fixtures like again? Wolves, Southampton, Chelsea, Brighton, Everton. They're not bad fixtures at all, are they, for Leeds? Bamford could be really nice. Thiago price prediction. Which Thiago? Thiago Silva or just Thiago Alcantara? Tierney at 5.5 or 5. I think 5.5 is way too much. I think he'll be at 5.5 because I think they're going to make like Ben White, and Ben White will probably be 5. Get the GOATs of Wobie and Joelinton in. They're too good. Too much value. Vieira could be a nice option if he comes in at 5 to 5.5. I think he'll be 5.5/6, to be honest. Bamford with no Rafinha, definitely not. That is a good point, to be fair. I think Tony will be the popular striker. Good fixtures, on penalties. He's had a season in the Prem. Like Neto and Bamford up front. Yeah, I think that could be a nice shout. How about Bowen? Yeah, everyone's saying Bowen. Obviously, he was fantastic last season, 206 points, but the fixtures aren't excellent. In the first 6, they've got to play Spurs, Chelsea and City, but these 3 aren't bad, I suppose. Matty Cash price prediction. Hopefully 5 million, but I think 5.5 is definitely possible. If Arsenal sign Alessandro Martinez, chance we see less of Tierney, in my opinion. Potentially. Harry Wilson when Fulham get better fixtures. Yeah, I do like Wilson as a decent shout. Mitrovic is going to be good at some point, I'm sure, for us. Really like Martinelli if he's cheap. Yeah, I quite like Martinelli as well. Could even have Martinelli or Saka in here, to be honest. Could be a really decent option, Martinelli. Got you in the background whilst playing Minecraft with my daughter. She says you remind her of Michael from Vsauce. I've no idea. I'm going to assume it's a compliment. It probably isn't, mate, but that's very nice. I used to play a lot of Minecraft back in the day, to be fair. I'll probably stream for another 5 minutes. If anyone wants to chat about anything, to be honest, you can ask me anything in the chat. FPL, non-FPL, price predictions, football, what food-related, movie-related, whatever you want. We'll do another 5 minutes and then we'll end the stream. Jack Harrison may step up this season for Leeds with no Rafinha. Could definitely do so. Do you play any FIFA, mate? I haven't actually played any FIFA this year for the first time ever. I used to play a lot of Foot Champs, career mode. I used to play FIFA non-stop, but funnily enough, having a YouTube while trying to do a PhD and maintain a job is time consuming, to say the least. So I don't have a lot of time to play FIFA anymore. Harvey Barnes could become good if Leicester get rolling. Yeah, I really like Harvey Barnes as an option. Jesus feels pretty essential for me. I would want Jesus in there. We probably could get close to getting Jesus in there. And then anyone in there for 6.5, to be honest. Could get him in there. You're just going to have to downgrade elsewhere to get Gabby Jesus in. Wasn't there a rumour Barca asked for Maguire in exchange for Frenkie de Jong? Yeah, they did, apparently. I think it's just a rumour, to be honest. I can't believe they would want... Although Maguire's not bad with the ball at his feet when he's got time, and in the Spanish league, there's a lot more time on the ball for the defenders, so maybe it was true. Do you own crypto? If which? No, I don't own crypto. I just go for index funds. I'm very boring like that. S&P 500, FTSE 100, pretty much just index funds and a couple of individual stocks. More likely for Mitrovic to score above 20 goals or Fulham to finish above 20th? Neither. Fulham to finish above 20th. Fulham to finish 19th. Daka maybe if Vardy's not fit. Yeah, I think Vardy should be fit, but Daka could be a decent shout if not. Why is everyone sure that Perisic will come in as a defender? I'm not sure, but he should do. He played as a wing-back last season. Do you think Brennan Johnson could be a proper rotatable bench option? Absolutely. Like I said, the issue I've got, the reason I've not put him in here is they've got Brennan Johnson as a £4.5 million forward. I think what's more likely is a £5.5 million midfielder. But even so, £4.5 million is way too cheap. He's never going to be that cheap. The Walking Dead is ending this year. Thought about continuing where you left off. Potentially. I'm like a season and a half behind on Walking Dead. Favorite film, personally, mine is Pulp Fiction or Seven. I should know the answer to this. What is my favorite film? Anything directed by Christopher Nolan. I'd say probably Interstellar / Inception / The Prestige. Genuinely, Christopher Nolan is just the GOAT of directing. Everything that he does is fantastic. Do you think Manchester United will bottle this transfer window? They seem to be taking extremely long to get transfers over the line. Bit harsh, but I think at this rate, even 6th place seems tough. I think we'll finish 6th. I think we'll sign Frenkie de Jong, hopefully another midfielder. Looks like Malacia could be coming in at left back. Anthony looks like it's a little bit too much. They're asking for like 60, 70 million for Anthony. I don't think we'll bottle the window, but it's not going to be a 6. My issue is I wanted us to sell as many players as we were going to buy, but it looks like we're not getting rid of the deadwood, which is annoying. How do you think Rafinha affects Chelsea? He plays down the wing that James and Mount normally occupy. It's going to be interesting. He can play on the left, Rafinha. I think he's more likely to play off the left with Mount on the right, unless they switch up the formation. They were playing like a 3-5-2 last season with Mount in behind Werner and Lukaku. They could start that again, but then where's Rafinha playing in that? Is he going to play wing back? Surely he wouldn't go to Chelsea if he was going to play wing back. What's your day job, if you don't mind telling? Just curious. I'm a lecturer in sport and exercise psychology. I'm also a PhD student. I'm lecturing during my PhD student, but I get paid to lecture in it. They pay for my PhD as well. So, yeah, I spend all day talking, basically. Stout, lager, or IPA? None of them. Sorry, Paul. Not a massive fan of any beer, to be honest. If I had to choose that, I'd probably go for a stout. Favorite sports-related film of all time? Rocky 1 or 4 for me. That's an impossible question to answer. I genuinely can't answer that. There are so many good sport films. Happy Gilmore. No, I don't know, to be fair. Good question, though. Good question. Who will win the Premier League this season? I think it's got to be City, hasn't it? Have you asked the InDev question yet? What question? I've put him... We've spoken to him a couple of times. We have an awesome Discord, everyone. Make sure you join using the link below the stream. Become a member on here, or Patreon as well for added benefits. Thank you for doing that plug. Yeah, definitely. Join the Discord. Definitely do so. Let me get the link for you. Yeah, basically, if you're wondering what Discord is, by the way, I know a lot of people are hesitant. They think Discord's some sort of scary thing. Don't be scared. Discord's just literally like a group chat, but rather than Am I doing the right thing here? Yeah. Rather than it being like one group chat, we separate it into different like topics. So like you can talk about FPL, talk about food, you can talk about price predictions. Like we've got different channels for different things. If you click that link, it should allow you to join our Discord. You look like Drew Nathaniel. Who? Drew Nathaniel. I see it. It's the round glasses and the beard. He's got a little bit more hair than me, to be fair. When are they releasing the prices of players? I'd say at some point next week, probably like Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Best mid-price forwards, probably Tony and Dav, Brennan Johnson if he's a striker. Man United released a lot of players. We didn't release a lot of players, just their contract ended. But there are more players that we should definitely be selling. Would you consider making a second account just for non-FPL talk? I'm going to do that when I finish my PhD. I've just got too much on the go at the moment. But yeah, definitely. Hans Zimmer scores for Nolan and Mint. Yeah, Hans Zimmer makes Nolan films. Absolutely. Without that music, it's nowhere near as good. The Interstellar soundtrack, unbelievable. Are you hyped for the Qatar World Cup? I'm trying to keep an open mind. It's just wrong. The time of year is just wrong. But yeah, I am quite excited for a World Cup. Of course I am. Are your students subscribers? Yeah, I've been recognised by 7 students. They come up to me at the end of the lecture and they'll go, "Are you FPL Raptor?" And I'm like, "Yeah." it's a bit of a strange one, to be fair. Not a lot of people, to be fair, but a few subscribers. FPL launch date is Tuesday the 5th of July. Is it, Mark? I didn't know. I didn't know that. I think you're just guessing. But if you do have inside knowledge, then fair enough. Plug your book, says Paul. Shall I plug my book? I mean, it's directly above me. That was really... Oh, no, it's just come off. You see it sort of floating on that circulating thing above my head. Yeah, I've got a book. If you fancy... Now's the time to buy the book, by the way. Pre-season, definitely. Basically discussing the psychological aspects of FPL. Is Erdegaard a better option than Smith Rowe? Yes, just because he's more nailed. Convince my wife to play FPL this year. I'm scared. Yeah. Listen, if she beats you, it's going to be pretty embarrassing. But first season, she shouldn't be beating you, really. Is she into football, Frosty? If she likes her football, then maybe she'll be good at it. Ramin Djawadi is an underrated composer. I agree. Does the Game of Thrones stuff. Westworld, what a series that is. Westworld. What other stuff did he do? Game of Thrones, Westworld. He's really good. I probably slightly prefer Hans Zimmer, but yeah. Best studying music, Hans Zimmer. Yeah. My favorite person to listen to is Einaudi. I'm just typing it out. God knows if that's how you spell it. He's my favorite composer, pianist to listen to when I'm doing my uni work. This stream has been brilliant. Hope for more streams further on. Great content. Thank you very much. Yeah, there's always more streams. I'll definitely do at least 2 or 3 more streams before the season starts. Then there's weekly deadline stream as well. Will you sign your book for me if I meet you at one of the FPL meetups? Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I've signed about 10 or 15 books, which is pretty cool. I signed a book very, very drunk at one of the FPL meetups. Someone handed me their book and I couldn't quite see straight. God knows what I wrote in that book, but I'll try and make sure that I'm in a good state of mind when I sign your book. Are we all crazy for ignoring Son over the other premiums? No. Yes, probably, to be fair. I was going to say no, probably. Sven Botman to Newcastle, worth interest. Yeah. That's a really good signing from them. Can I borrow your checkbook at the FPL meetups if you want to? Go for it. Breaking Bad for me is the best series ever. Best series ever. I think for me, top 2 series, Prison Break and Suits. I love Suits. Suits doesn't get mentioned enough. If you've watched Suits, let me know in the chat. Suits is unbelievable. And like people talk about later about Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, Prison Break, Peaky Blinders. Someone's just said, no one ever talks about Suits. And for me, it's an absolute elite series. Have you watched any Netflix series lately? Do you know what I just finished watching? Bridgerton. Actually really, really good. Bridgerton's class. Please don't ruin this for me. I'm like on the final season of Ozark. Ozark is really, really good as well. What other stuff did I watch recently? It's taken me a while to get through. I haven't watched that many series recently. I just watch YouTube a lot. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. But yeah, I've just finished Bridgerton. Actually, really, really good. Ozark, absolutely brilliant. Lost. Oh, I love Lost. It's just such a long... It took me like a year and a half to get through Lost because there are so many episodes. I haven't watched The Wire, interestingly. I watched the FPL Wire quite a lot, but I've never actually watched The Wire. Yeah, a lot of people like Ozark. Have you watched Merlin? I watched Merlin back in the day on BBC, was it? Or ITV? Merlin's actually really, really good. Prison Break and 24 are two. I've never even heard of 24. Prison Break is so good. Have you watched Top Boy? I watched the first 2 seasons of Top Boy and I wasn't that convinced, so I stopped watching it. I know a lot of people like Top Boy, but... Ozark is ace. Yeah, Ozark's really good. Like I said, I'm coming on to the final season. Sons of Anarchy is a superb watch. I've never watched it. I'll add that to my list. This Is Us. A bit older, but The Wire, yeah. The Wire's cropped up so many times. I've just never got round to watching it, to be honest. Prison Break was amazing for the first 2 seasons, and then it dropped off a bit for 3 and 4. Just watched it because I love Michael's character. Yeah, I agree. I would say Prison Break Season 1, in my opinion, is the greatest season in cinematic history of anything ever. Seasons 2 was still good. 3 and 4 were still good for me, but it did drop off. But Season 1 was just unbeatable. It was the most incredibly directed and produced series I've ever seen. That season. What, you've never heard of 24? I've genuinely never heard of 24. Like, not even remotely. 24. What's it on? There's 8 seasons. Bloody hell. How have I never heard of this? I don't know. I've never heard of it. Came out in 2001, the first episode. Where can I watch it? Is it on Netflix or Amazon Prime or something like that? I'll have to have a watch. I've just realised I've left this really terrible draft on the screen. "24 is old. Ross is only a wee kiddie." I'm 25, so I'm older than the series title. I'm 25. It's called 24. I've only just turned 25. I need to stop saying 2020. Used to be on Sky. Yeah, I'll probably be able to find it somewhere. Kiefer Sutherland is really good. Yeah. Power is on Netflix. I'll have to have a look at this. I'll have to go back through the chat and make a note of some of these shows. So I'm going to finish Ozark. I've got a season left of Ozark, and then I genuinely don't know what I'm going to watch after that, to be honest. Do you watch Marvel movies? I recently did a marathon of Marvel movies. So I'd only watched maybe like 30%. I went back through and watched them in chronological order, and I've just finished. So yeah, I've watched all the Marvel movies quite recently. I haven't seen the new Doctor Strange, though. True Detective Season 1 is decent. Ross is a quarter of a century. Oh, I am. I'm halfway to 50. Have you seen Peaky Blinders? I've seen the first 2 or 3 seasons. I've not seen like the latest 2 seasons. I can't remember how many there are. I've watched like the first 2 or 3 seasons. Fear the Walking Dead is so good. My sister actually said that Fear the Walking Dead is better than The Walking Dead, which is interesting. BoJack Horseman was great, but really depressing. Yeah, I've heard a few sort of mixed reviews. The Boys is on Prime. Yeah, a couple of people said The Boys. Dexter. I started watching Dexter years ago. I watched like a couple of episodes and then never got around to actually watching it all. It's on Disney Plus now. I've got Disney Plus. I've got far too many subscriptions, to be fair. Banshee is incredible, but tough to find now. I really don't know what to do as my next series. Really not sure. I need to watch Better Call Saul, but it's just so long I don't have the time. Yeah, I've still not watched it, to be fair. And I loved Breaking Bad, so maybe. Boardwalk Empire. There are so many series, aren't there? Have you seen What We Do in the Shadows? It's hilarious. I have not, no. Band of Brothers, HBO. I've seen it advertised, Band of Brothers, but again, I've not seen it. Have you watched Beverly Hills? I have not. My team for next season: Raya, Botman, Perisic, Cody, Chilwell, Trent, Salah, Diaz, Yates, Haaland, and Dav Jesus. That sounds good.
Have you seen Hannibal the TV show? I've not. Stranger Things is class, right? And yeah, Stranger Things. Everyone's going crazy for Stranger Things at the moment. Best signing so far and the best signing you think might happen over the next few weeks. I'm just going to switch to this just to plug whilst we're chatting. If you guys want to join the Raptor family. What was the question I was reading? Best signing so far and best signing you think might happen over the next few weeks. That's a great question. Best signing over the next few weeks is Frankie de Jong, obviously. Best signing so far. I can't think of any signings. What do you guys think? Best signing so far? Yeah, Haaland is a good signing, but I guess for £51 million, it is a bit of a steal, isn't it? Have you watched Ted Lasso? No, I haven't. It sounds like I don't watch anything. I've watched a lot of series, but I don't know. To answer your question, I don't know who the best signing is. De Jong, Van der Beek with Ten Hag again. Honestly, I'm quite excited by a midfield of De Jong, Bruno Fernandes, and Van der Beek. It's a bit attacking, to be fair, but Basuma, yeah, Basuma was an excellent signing. That's a good shout, Eric. That's a very good shout. Basuma's a class signing. Right, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. I've been streaming for an hour and 45. I was only going to stream for about 45 minutes, but you know what I'm like. I absolutely love it. Let's switch to a big version of my face. There we go. So, if you've enjoyed the first stream back, please do drop a like on your way out. There's lots of content coming, throughout the coming weeks. Even if we don't get the prices, even if we don't get the game, I've got tons of sort of original creative content to drop. But as soon as we get the game, we're going to be building drafts. We're going to be talking about players to watch, doing deep sort of dives into underlying statistics. You guys know what the content's like. So if you enjoyed the stream and you're not yet subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to drop a like on the stream as well. I really do appreciate you being here. There will be another stream in the next few weeks, I'm sure. When the game goes live, we'll do a stream as well. And yeah, please. Can't believe you still don't have Tuchel in. I need to get Thomas Tuchel in. Potentially replace him. By the way, if you didn't realise, sorry, I've Photoshop myself into that. That's me in there. But yeah, maybe I'll get Thomas Tuchel in there instead of Arteta, probably. But thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Until next time, guys. Cheers. Bye-bye.